Hey YouTube, what's going on? Like I mentioned in the last video, I'm not sure if you watched it. That was a 32-minute video with my daughter's boot camp graduation. And I know a lot of times on YouTube you're just looking for like, I don't know, 10-15 minute bite-sized content, and you see something like 32 minutes, you're like, I'm not clicking. If you've been with the channel for a little while, there were some things in that video that was like, holy shit, where'd that come from? And so I just kind of wanted to catch everybody up on what's been going on with me. Nothing like major, and I don't even know why I felt the urge to make this video, since really I don't know. I don't have to explain myself to anyone, or not even that people passing by on the internet even really care. I wanted to put it out there just in case. You don't want to watch it? You didn't click on it. That's fine. My videos, man, back a year and a half ago or so, I went for a good 5-6 months where I was just pumping out videos like crazy, and I was really enjoying it. I had a good time learning how to do new things. I was having a real good time. And then there was a point at the beginning of last year where there was like 2 months between videos, and the last one that I made was in May of 2018, where I went to New Orleans to see my friend. I didn't touch it since. So why the drop off? I mean, sure, it's easy enough to say, oh, you know, people come and go, they lose interest or whatever, but and that's true to a degree. I lost interest in everything about that time. So sometime around April of last year, some things started happening at my work. Just really put a sour taste in my mouth for work for a little while. And then as time went on, it really just started just digging and digging and digging to where I just lost any sort of motivation or zeal for life. And I'm not saying like I was suicidal or nothing. I wasn't motivated to do anything. I didn't want to make videos. I didn't want to skate. I barely rode my motorcycle. I would come home. I'd be pissed off all the time, anxious about things, and I don't know, I would sit around and either watch TV or play video games by myself. I just kept to myself a lot, and that festered over months and months and months. I mean, I started arguing like more and more with my boss and his boss, and I really just didn't give a shit about anything. And it really got to me. About October, November time frame, I finally decided, you know what, I've had enough of this shit, and I started applying for other jobs out there. The problem with the job was, once I realized that it wasn't my thing anymore, I can go into detail a little bit if you want. Well, okay, so here's a little detail on what was going on at work. I work retail, right? And the store that I worked at, I was the store manager, and we were one of the busiest stores in the entire country. And I had one of the biggest teams in the country as a result of it. I had an excellent team. I was constantly recognized. I won awards, quarter after quarter, year after year, being, the #1 store in my district, one of the top in the state. My team was motivated. We were all happy. It was all around good feeling. And then we started doing some things where they wanted to expand our footprint, and they really started peppering the area with new stores, like little stores. So the company that I worked for, well, it was Sprint. I don't mind. I don't work there anymore. The company I worked for was Sprint, and so we were the smallest of the 4 carriers as it was. So our retail footprint was, the next closest store to me was like 8 miles away. The leadership at the time decided, you know what, we want to put a lot more closure, in the space between there. They started opening store after store after store. We bought, a third-party retailer, made them into corporate or whatever the hell happened there. So then it became where, we were all competing for the exact same customers. They left our sales goals like exactly the same, as if we were still the only store in the area. And we just couldn't hit those targets, man. They were just too unrealistic. And they really do a good job of selling you on the fact that, well, you should be able to figure out how to make it up in your business. But it was just tough, man. My reps started getting burnt out, and then you start doubting yourself. And here I was. I still consider myself an excellent leader. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a braggart or anything. I think I'm really good at my craft. It was just tough. So, after a while of that, you're just sinking further and further. My store started losing like major ranks. They had our stores ranked in Finally got interviewed by the company I work for now. I thought the interview went really well, and you know, I left the company that day, the day of the interview. I was off for an entire month, banking on the fact that they're going to call me for the job because I know the interview went well. So I accepted this job. I've been in sales for like 20 years, man. And this job has zero to do with sales. I don't interact with customers. I don't interact with many other people from the entire company. It's a nationwide company, man. I don't interact with anybody. It really suited where I was at the time, because I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was still like really inside my feelings, and I accepted this position, and I worked like 3 p.m. to midnight. I was already staying up all night anyway because I was off for a month, and I don't know, man. I was just in a really bad spot, and I've stayed there actually. Even though I got a new job and everything was supposed to be fine, you know, I'm making like 60% of what I was making before, and that's what the problem was. Why I couldn't leave Sprint prior. They had golden handcuffs on me, man. I mean, I hated it. I was really miserable. The money I was making, it was hard to give that up because once you're in that position, it's like, how do you give up the compensation that you're making to say, oh yeah, well, I've left that bullshit job? And while we're fine, you can definitely feel it, man. You know, you're missing 40% of your income. But I've been there, you know, 8 months or 7 months now, and it's an okay job. It's just something to do. I don't want to say it's like, oh, it's just temporary, because who knows where I go with the job. Maybe there's some promotions in the future where, you know, I get back into a normal day shift type thing. But no, during that time from like April until hell, a couple weeks ago, I let a lot of things go, man. I lost 100 pounds or 95 pounds back in 2016. I kept that weight off that entire time until about the summer of last year. I started putting it back on because I stopped really caring. I quit smoking in June of 2016. Again, somewhere along the way, I started picking it up again. I gained a total of 40 of those pounds back from all the weight that I lost. So it's good to say that I kept some of it off, but you know, I promised myself never again. So here I am in a position where, you know, I put myself back into better eating habits. Last Thursday, when we got to the airport to fly to Chicago to see my daughter's boot camp graduation, I took the last cigarettes that I had, just threw them away, haven't had one since. I know I can do it. So I'm back on better eating habits. I did cheat a little in Chicago because I had to try the deep dish pizza that was up there, and I had to have a Chicago dog. But I mean, come on. You can't go up there on a diet with that kind of food. And what else has happened? If you watched the video, you saw that we had a grandson with us. I mean, you guys missed all of that. And I feel bad because, like I said, I wasn't motivated for anything in life. I should have been filming that stuff this whole time. And I lost all that opportunity. Sometime July or August last year, whatever, my wife sits me down. She sits down here and she goes, hey, your daughter wants to talk to you. Not my oldest daughter, not the one that went to boot camp, but my younger daughter. She let me know she was pregnant. You know, all my life I thought when I have kids, if my daughter ever wound up pregnant, I'd be pissed off and blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't. I didn't know how to respond. I just kind of sat here and I said, okay. It's a really hard feeling to describe because you want to be, like, here was this. I'm excited that I'm going to have this new baby, this new child in my family that I can love and have in my life. But at the same time, you're also thinking, what the fuck were you thinking? You know, to your kid and you know, and your kid's significant other. So it's a weird dissonance. I was never angry at my daughter or her boyfriend, but it was always, God, it's just really hard to explain because you want to be disappointed in the decision, but you also have a little bit of excitement and love for this baby. 2 months after that, we found out my oldest son, his wife is pregnant. Theirs is a little bit more traditional. You know, they're early 20s. He works hard, full time. They've got their own little apartment. So they have a baby. I haven't met her yet, and I can't wait to meet her because my grandson was born in April, and it was just the most precious thing in the whole wide world. The first time I saw him, I grabbed him as close as I could, and I wept for minutes because it's just how much love I had for this little boy. And so my granddaughter, my son's daughter, was born in June, 2 months later, and I haven't met her yet. My wife got to fly out in July. We couldn't do both of us gone for a week, and we damn sure couldn't fly the whole family out there for a week. So she went for a week. She got to meet her, and And I'm glad. I can't wait to meet her, but my wife needed to do that. Grandkids, change of careers after being in sales for 20 years. I mean, just all kinds of stuff going on. I am still riding, just not as much. And it's not because I've lost any interest in it. Two things. And I know people are, oh, get rain gear, blah, tough it out, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. I ride to work or drive to work, about 2:30 in the afternoon. And that's prime storm season in Tampa. And the rain this year in Tampa has just been ridiculous. It's been overbearing. There's been so much rain, it's ridiculous. Plus the route that I take to work has me on 2 different freeways or sometimes expressways if I feel like doing that. And it's just, so when I ride, it's, it could be on a weekend or I work Sunday through Thursday. So if it's not raining on Sunday, I'll ride Sunday because it has less traffic. But it's not as much. And I will get back to that content. I promise you, after this video, I'll get back to that content. Some of that content. I like switching it up a little bit. I do have some footage that I'm going to edit to make for my next video, actually. I took the footage in November. My grandfather passed away in early November of 2018. We weren't very close there the last several years of his life. But that was my last grandparent. I have no more grandparents left. I decided instead of flying up there or, trying to drive my big ass truck up there, I would ride. It would be economical, and it was, man. It's about 700 miles, 750 miles or so from here to Blaine, Tennessee. And I rode up there and back, including meals and gas, and I spent less than $200. But I got some footage of the ride up there. And then while I was there, I went around all the little curvy back roads and stuff from my teenage years and childhood. So that footage has just been sitting there this whole time. But I feel like I would be doing myself a disservice. My YouTube channel, I think that would be doing it a disservice as well, even though I don't owe anybody anything really. I took the footage, I want to put it together. So the next video that I put out, maybe Sunday, it'll be that. Anyway, so that's my life, man. I'm getting fatter. Well, I got fatter. I started smoking again after not smoking for 2.5 years. I left my job that I'd had for a long time, that I was very successful at for a long time. My daughter went in the Navy. I mean, you saw that video. She decided sometime in early spring that that's what she was going to do. And honestly, at first, my wife and I were both like, okay, this is just her newest idea, because she wanted to work for her current job for a while because they were starting to recognize her and send her around to open new stores around the country. And she wanted to be a makeup artist or something, or a hairstylist or a teacher. I don't know. She had a new idea, it felt like, every couple months. So when she said Navy, I was really proud of that, but I thought, don't be excited really until, she goes. And she went. And I served. I was a Marine. But I'm going to tell you what, right now, I am more proud that my daughter is serving, joined the Navy, than I've ever been proud of my own service. And that's hard to explain too. People are like, oh, you should be proud of what you did. I am. But knowing that my kid, my child, here's an adult human being that I helped create and raise, she decided that she was going to step up and do it. It blows me away, man. So that's enough of that. That's me. That's me in a nutshell. That's where I've been the last 1.5 years or so. I'm looking forward to getting back into the rhythm of making videos. Hell, even around that same time period, I started hanging out with some guys, and we started, riding together on occasion. And when I started losing interest in everything having to do with life, they would text me and say, hey, you want to come do this? And I would always find a reason not to. And now guess what? Nobody texts me anymore, because you say no how many times in a row until finally somebody's like, nah, that guy's not going to come. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned. Thanks to all the new subscribers. I don't know how, but in the last 1.5 years, I've gained like 400 subscribers. So I really appreciate that. If you've been around this whole time, thanks for sticking it out with me. If you're just now joining, welcome. I'll get some content out there. And until next time, we'll see you later.